It's amazing all these years later to see how this franchise has affected the fans too.
Yes,
Back then it was the subs versus the dubs. But when Bebop came along, there was this groundswell. When a few people saw it and they realized that we really put a lot of love into it, and all of a sudden people were watching dubs for the first time that would never have considered it before. So that was kind of a breakthrough thing.
We're a gateway dub.
Yeah, we are. A gateway dub.
Hi, I'm Beau Billingsley, and I voice Jet Black in Cowboy Bebop.
Hi, this is Melissa Fawn, and I play Edward.
Yo, Steve Bloom here, voice of Spike Spiegel, just a humble bounty hunter, man.
Hi, I'm Wendy Lee, and I voice Fei Fei Valentine, and we're very excited about this anniversary release, and really hope you can join us in theaters.
This is strictly business.
How did you get involved with Cowboy Bebop, and what excited you most about the project?
I got a call from our fabulous director, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. I remember the first day of recording, she brought me into this big sound studio, and there was a big screen, and she said, "Let me just play you the first credits." And I heard the ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da. And my jaw just dropped, and she said, "This is what we're working on." And I said, "Oh, okay, sign me up."
I got involved with Bebop from the series originally, and I just remember taking a look at the first scene that I saw with Faye and thinking, this is unlike anything I've seen before. It was an instant connection I felt. In fact, I immediately started rewriting the dialogue to tailor it to the character. Never done that before.
I remember the first day I didn't know anything about the project. Cowboy Bebop, my first thought was, well, I'm a cowboy and I'll be talking like that, okay? And so Mary Elizabeth said, probably not so much. Anyway, yeah, we played with some voices, and then finally she said, well, why don't you just do your voice, and with a slight moderation. And so there's a lot of Jet in me, which makes it a lot easier to voice a character and to help, tell the story.
I wish we could have worked together in the booth.
That's right, we never
Yeah, we were always by ourselves.
Yeah.
Always by ourselves.
Yeah.
But we became a family despite that, which is uncommon in an anime.
Right,
show.
yeah.
This was my first leading role. And all I remember is abject fear walking into that room. And prior to that, I was a creature doing, all kinds of fight scenes and crazy sounds and slobbering all over myself. So I actually learned the craft of acting. Unlike you guys, I didn't have those skills when I walked into that booth. I had a little bit in anime, but that was my learning ground on that show, at your expense. Sorry.
There you go.
Huh?
Yeah?
That a mugshot or your version of Picasso?
Yeah.
So what was the process of finding the characters' voices and personalities, and did the Japanese film actors' personalities influence your creation?
I think, I can't remember, did Mary turn it down? Did she turn down their voices? She did.
For me, yeah.
You know what? I think she played me the original now. It's been so long. But I think she played me the original in the beginning, but said, I don't want you to do what she does. I want you to do what you do. So I got to hear the flavor, and you don't want to do something drastically different, but we kind of had free reign to create these characters. So just watching Edward's movements, she had this kind of old school rubber hose thing, animation style about her as well, but she was very effervescent, and just to be playful and to be honest and to be young but to also be a genius. There was just so much that came into play that was so fun. Not that I'm a genius, but
you are.
With me, early in my on-camera career, I did a lot of cops. That was back in the day when there were a lot of cop shows, and as fate would have it, Jet's an ex-cop, and so I was wondering where were his vulnerabilities. Where were we going to find him vulnerable? And finally, he had the episode where he goes back to Ganymede, and he has a wonderful monologue and speaking to his girlfriend. It was such a joy for me to see that he had that opportunity?
They felt very organic for me too. I think that bottom line was really honoring everything that was happening with the Japanese performance, but creating something new. That was really important to me. I didn't want to recreate anything. I wanted to honor it and enhance the performance, the writing, everything emotionally and intellectually, and still maintain her sass and wit and quick comebacks. And we would take time to go back and review even once we were done recording, which we don't always get to do.
I remember that.
There was a lot of
going back
time.
and reviewing. Yeah, we had unlimited time.
We really did. It was unusual, and we're super grateful for that.
Oh, yeah.
So we can hone and perfect each line. It just doesn't seem dated after all these years. Not dated. It's still good.
I gotta watch it again. It's been 10 years.
Right.
Steve, how did you connect with your character?
Well, being the badass that I am and the Kung Fu master in my mind, finally had a place to express that.
It took time.
Without all the training, because I'm really, really lazy. No, I grew up bullied and insecure, and this was an opportunity for me to play out that almost super heroic, cool, confident badass that I always wanted to be, that I always was jealous of that I saw in other people. So to embody that in the form of Spike was an incredible journey for me. It took a lot of introspection and help from Mary to bring all of that out and to bring up my confidence level. And I think that really gelled in the movie when I learned to be vulnerable as an actor. And you guys had had acting training before that, I didn't. So it was an amazing thing, not only improving my skills as an actor, but improving my skills as a communicator in my life as a human being, and being able to use that in my relationships with my friends and family and with you guys further into the show too. And I credit Bebop with so much that followed, including now Mary and I are together in real life, which is an amazing thing. Yeah, the guy finally got the girl. I'm with Julia. It's amazing. There was a happy ending after all.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anime dreams come true.
Right? I know.
Right.
Don't tell me the party already started.
So the film deals with some deeper themes about life and death and love and purpose. What do you feel the film's main messages are?
Wow, I don't know.
Main
I don't think you can put your finger on one. I don't know. That's like reading poetry and telling you what you're thinking. You get 10 different versions of what it is. I don't know if I can put my finger on that.
To see this movie now on the screens, I think it would bring a whole new weight to what's going on, and I think everyone will connect to it, maybe even on a deeper level, especially what's going on in our country and other countries, just in society.
I think science fiction does that, takes a glimpse into the near future and projects from the current state of affairs. And I think in some ways, looking at the film today may almost be prophetic in seeing an amalgamed world of different cities and cultures all colliding, and the violence that the film speaks to.
More than a cartoon.
That's why we need animation.
Way more than a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was working on the film different than working on the TV series? And what was your favorite part of the film to work on?
All of my scenes.
The scenes I was talking in.
Yes.
Working on the film was kind of fun because we went to the studio. We were actually working at Sony in a big room with a big screen. And,
Soundstage.
Yeah,
as opposed
soundstage.
To a recording room.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
so it felt like a little more pressure, I think, for me.
And then we had a big panel of people behind us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was a strange experience. It had always been very intimate, and suddenly there were executives that were sort of in the gallery observing us from.
Walking behind me while I was recording.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
There's
too.
some
Yes.
dude who's just standing behind giving his advice in the middle of lines. And what's going on here? This is a whole different experience.
You know that we can hear you. This
Yeah,
will record.
But then the suits wanted us all there, right?
Yeah, they did.
And we all came. We all came back, and
It was a success at that point.
Exactly.
We knew the series had gone
We knew something
very
good
well.
had happened. Yeah,
Didn't
with
hire
what
some
we did.
local celebrity to replace us.
Oh,
so-
well, there
Yeah.
was talk of that.
There was,
Yeah.
I know.
We didn't even mention that in
there
other
was a-
interviews. That was a real threat to
Remember
us.
they had that online petition.
Yes,
They had
that's
an online
right.
petition. They got thousands and thousands of people to request that we
That they
voice
made
the characters.
teen our characters.
And I would like to think that the fans out there had great influence,
yeah.
right, to get us
Yes.
to continue. I'm sure James Earl Jones would have done a great job, but Jet is mine.
That's right.
When we interact with the fans, I don't know if it's the first line in the show, or pretty close in the first episode, where Jet says, "Hey Spike, time to eat," and Spike says,
I don't remember.
What do we
Bell
have?
peppers. Oh, what do we have?
Yeah,
Okay.
what do we have?
Okay.
So I said, bell
Line.
peppers and beef. And then he says, we had that yesterday. And I said, no, yesterday we had beef and bell peppers. And a lot of the fans, they remember that.
Some of my favorite memories were coming up with some of the little songs that we came up with. We just kind of like played, and Mary would say, try throwing these words in, or I came up with Fifi, or like little things like that, or the circles and eyeballs, circles are, is it pretty, silly, pretty, a tasty, wonderful, just like black grape bees. And I remember, like we just came up with these silly little ditties, and it was,
I just kind of geeked out there. That was awesome. Wow, that brought me right back. That's amazing. Yeah.
Steve was doing his martial arts, because he was acting out his martial arts when he was voicing Spike.
I was.
And so I remember one day you came in after me, and I stayed and I watched you. And he was doing this magical thing where he was doing all this martial arts, but his head wasn't moving because he had to stay on mic, right? And that's what I was thinking. He's got a bobble body. He's doing all of this stuff, and his head's just like still. I said, how does he do that?
That was funny. I forgot that you had pointed that out to me
Yeah,
back then.
yeah, it was
You were the
fun
first person that pointed that out to me.
Yeah. It was fun watching you do
but,
that.
But what I was saying before about being, the inner badass and kung fu master, internally I felt like I had to become that to some degree to make it believable for the character. And I always wanted to be that. I just was, like I said, way too lazy to learn.
Oh, how hard could it be?
Yeah, I know. I know.
I think it was just such a treat to be able, to have done the series, and we saw that through, and then to come back and do the film and to see the fans embrace it, even more so than the series or equally, doesn't matter. It's just that we all got to come back and do it, and it was
good.
So good.
The
yes,
film was good.
It was good.
Really good. Yeah. I think I cry at every convention at one point or
Yes,
another
yes.
because of a story that somebody shares with me about how this has
Yes.
affected their lives, and we had no idea that this was going to happen.
When we were in that booth alone with Mary
Yeah.
and our engineer, we had no idea. And I remember, was it last year we were at a panel and this girl stood up and she told us a heartbreaking story about her life and how we helped her through the hardest time, and she was crying, and then we all started to cry.
We all went down.
We all
whole
went down,
audience
Just
and
took
we,
one look at each other and,
and
went
we
right
all
down
went down
and
into the audience.
circled her with love.
But it's really incredible that we can connect with people just through our voices, just through these amazing characters, through this amazing show and movie. I'm so proud.
That's true. We know it's mostly because of you. And we appreciate all of your support, and we're just honored to be the talking heads behind it.
Join us to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Cowboy Bebop.
20 years.
We look exactly the same.
Don't we, though?
You do.
You sound the same.
Oh man, time got me.
I have no fear of death. It just means dreaming in silence. A dream that lasts for eternity.
You're an original, aren't you?
The door